Ho, ho, ho.
And a Merry, Merry Christmas to you.
I'm having a silent night.
Okay. It's like, that's it? The voice. It's just nothing. Nothing. Just silent night. Okay.
Silent night.
It's clever. It's clever.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm,
'tis the season to be merry.
Merry.
That's my name.
No shit.
Oh, no shit.
Look, Russ. Look, Russ. No lights.
Can't see them all, can you, Russ?
No, Dad.
No, Dad.
Oh,
Best
all right.
movies.
The best of the Christmas movies. It never
It,
gets
it,
old.
it's in my top 5.
Oh, it's easily in my top 5 too. All right. Well, hey everyone. Number 14, 8-bit Atomic Geeks. Tis the season to be merry. The official episode title. We're just gonna talk some Christmas favorites tonight. Nothing particular. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. We're actually going to remember that early for once. We're hit and miss on that. But all the usual. Thank you for tuning in as always. Really, the only other housekeeping I think I'll throw out there. I do think this is probably a good wrap point for our first season. We're at the end of the year, holidays and everything coming up and everything going on. So, yeah, this will officially be the end, I think, of season 1. We will take probably more than a few weeks off to maybe possibly. I have a few ideas I'm kicking around, but to maybe change things up, or at least get ready to going into season 2. But no, we will be back early next year, maybe late January, early February. But we're taking a little bit of a break, just to kind of prepare a few things. But this, end of the year just seems like a good kind of break point. So season 1 will be 14 episodes. Guys?
That and
Yes.
this time of year is busy anyway.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm kicking around a few ideas. Maybe we'll have us a Waffle House meeting to discuss. But yeah, no, seems like a good wrap point. But we will be back. So just there's the warning that it's not over, just season 1.
And you can't go wrong with the Wahoo.
Nope.
No.
But it's
No, you cannot.
I feel like we've had a blast for our first season. We have maintained and remained consistent in producing content. I will not say it's quality, but we have produced content.
It's not quality, it's not timely, but it's there.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yes.
man, what a deep well of I'll start off. This is my favorite time of the year. I love it. Honestly, and I tell people, from like October to the end of the year is like my prime. I mean, I love everything about Halloween. I jump straight into Christmas. I do not forget Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving. I celebrate it just as well, but to me, it's just all one big, massive skeleton snowball, or something. But yeah, I hate wrapping it up, but there's so many great movies, and I'll go ahead and kind of jump into this part. We've been on a big movie kick lately. We've not really touched our video game base quite a bit. And this is another one that it's just I don't have much in the way of Christmas themed games outside of the abysmal Home Alone and Home
Home
Alone
Alone.
2.
Yeah.
That thing
Yeah.
came out. I know
Yeah.
it came
Where
out on NES, SNES.
oh, I mean, literally,
It
that's the
was,
only 2 games I can think of that come to mind for Christmas. I can think of nothing else, um, Christmas based.
I mean, you would think there'd be
You're
like a
scratching.
Rudolph property or something.
Yeah, open world Rudolph game.
That'd be something.
You run from the abominable.
The very
Uh,
last dungeon
yeah,
raid would be God My Slay Tonight or something like that.
yeah, um, yeah. So it's this gonna be another movie episode, but there's some absolute classics and gems. Obviously, we opened up with some Christmas Vacation quotations. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like it's etched into my brain the horror of the Home Alone game, and it's just like, hey, let's have this guy, this character, looks like Macaulay Culkin, and let's just have him run around the house or the hotel, and every object in the hotel or the house is attacking him. Like vacuum cleaners running wild. I mean, all this like, why is he jumping over this crap? Why is this stuff chasing
Jumping
him?
Grandma. It literally has a jumping grandma. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, it's like they didn't even. I don't know.
Might have had a. It started off as a Ghostbusters game.
Probably. I don't
That's what
know.
I can think. But like a possessed, like you know,
They forgot
like
to program the
vac,
proton pack.
vacuum cleaners and everything else. They're just like, well, we could just take this sprite and put in a different one, and then hey, there you go.
Yeah,
Instead of a
yeah.
Ghostbuster, it's Macaulay Culkin.
I
Yep.
get it. Movie tie-ins back then, man. They probably got a Cliff Notes version of the movie and was like, "What can you do in an hour?"
Here, throw something together.
Yeah.
Well, how quick do you want it? Couple months? You know, 3 4 hours should be able to get it.
That's,
That'll
that's
do.
that's why the ET Atari game was so horrid. They said, "Here, we want you to do the movie or do the game for the movie. Can you get that to us in 3 weeks?" I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It could have been 3 months, but it wasn't a long time.
There's nothing that could have probably turned that into anything. So, uh, yeah, I've got nothing else for video games. So we'll just shift gears there. Um,
I did find a list of games that were considered Christmas games,
okay.
but they were like because they were set during Christmas or had something Christmassy in it, or has a Christmas thing that happens in it. Um, Dead Rising 4 is set during Christmas.
Oh, yep.
Actually, yeah, that's true
NBA
because you're in a
Jam
mall.
on Fire Edition.
NBA Jam on Fire Edition. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
The Escapists, Santa's Sweatshop, and Santa's Shakedown.
Yeah. What?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Batman Arkham Origins.
Yeah. Well, now so here you go. Off of that, Batman Returns for Super Nintendo because Batman
Yeah,
Returns takes
true.
place during Christmas, and you got Die Hard trilogy for PS1. So there you go.
There you go. I'm going to throw Clay Fighter in because it has Bad Mr. Frosty as a character.
It's got a fighting snowman.
So
That's
there.
Christmas.
It's got a fighting snowman. And they also actually, I think they put a Santa Claus character in too, in some one of the sequels.
Hmm.
I think
Maybe.
maybe could be.
Maybe.
So, I mean, for my money, let's just open up with the big one. We already started with it. Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
One of my most favorite movies of all time.
I still will horse laugh scenes. It just gets funnier and funnier, no matter how many times. It is a
The one
perfect
scene,
movie.
the sledding scene, where he's like, "Party on, dudes," and then he's like pushes, and then it's just, and that's all you see is just like a rocket, and that
Comes in
part
handy.
right there.
Bingo.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
If I dent that in, there's no way I can get my part to look right, Clark. No, piece of government plastic.
Here, nothing. But here,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. I just that one. I sit and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh over that movie, and
I
have for
can.
years.
Oh
And
yeah. I mean, again, I just well, it's like it's in a small group of movies that I probably just about almost could quote the whole movie. I've seen it so many times. Ghostbusters falls in that category. Um, and it's like I'm reciting the lines in my head before they say them, and I'm still laughing, and I'm just it's like laughing in anticipation of the lines. Um,
Merry
that really is.
Christmas, shitter's full. Boom, 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 boom,
Hear
boom,
that, honey?
boom, boom, boom,
Shitter's
boom, boom,
full.
boom.
the checker shitters.
Sewer gas.
I think throws the cigar in there.
Why is the
Boom.
floor all wet? I don't know, Margot.
All right. I think what is it about that scene? Like, is it like I everybody knows that segment. It sticks out to everybody. I mean, anybody, they love Christmas Vacation. They talk about it, but everybody has that same reaction to it. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's how they overreact or how the act. I don't know what it is, but everybody it's about that scene.
Well, that's the question of what broke the window, what busted the DVD or the CD player. That's what it was. It was a compact.
I think it was the
disc player.
stereo system.
Yeah, the stereo
and
system.
you're watching these two, the yuppies, try and be detectives and
Trying to figure it out. Why's the floor all wet? Oh, I don't know, Margot.
Oh, she goes over there to give him a piece of her mind. Gets jumped by the squirrel and the dog. Comes back over. How'd it go?
What the hell happened to you?
Knocks him
See, that was the
clean
thing is
out.
that those two weren't like in the lane of like a villain, or just people you don't really care for in a movie. They actually stand out as they didn't really do anything, but people still had disdain for them. I mean, they were just like, nobody
You're
liked
right.
them.
I mean, you're right. Like, as someone who
Victims of
doesn't,
circumstance.
they just want to be left alone, chill in their house,
Live their
and
life.
Clark's over here rampaging and destroying stuff. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because they're in the yuppie skin that you just immediately have that like disdain for them. That adds to that, but it's like, really, let's sit back here.
Who
Clark
is
messed with
actually the
them.
worst neighbor? Them
Clark's a
or the
terrible neighbor.
Griswolds?
Yeah.
Smash their window and is able to get away with it because it's ice. The ice. There's no evidence.
That's another
Other
scene
than
where
the
he grabs
dihydrogen
hold of
monoxide.
Yeah.
and he grabs hold of the downspout and the gutter, and then it turns loose. And when it turns loose, it slings that
And,
big old sheet of ice out of it.
and
It's
then,
like a
and,
board, like a 2x4 worth of ice.
yeah. And then, really the other side of this too is Clark has no idea he's done any of this to him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, 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 no. No, he knew when he cut the tree down. But he was also, as he said,
Well, he was
they
in
were at
rage
the
mode. But
threshold of
I'm
hell.
thinking of the ice missile. And then, you think he opens the door, sends the squirrel jumps out, and he shuts the door. He never looks out.
He
He
never
just
even sees
opens
that
it.
he did it.
Yeah. So he has no idea that, he let his neighbor get mauled by a Rottweiler and a squirrel.
And a squirrel. I tell you, that ice missile shooting out of that gutter, I'm going to dub it the Christmas rail gun.
It kind of
Yes.
was.
It's the Christmas rail gun. Test fire
But
successful.
but that's the thing, is like they had all this bad stuff happen to them because Clark Griswold and his family were the worst, absolute worst neighbors of just wrecking the joint. But yet people have such disdain for the yuppies, and are just like, that's what they should have got. That they had it coming. They should have. It's like, jeez.
Yeah.
When the big,
Why is
the
the
big
carpet all
boss.
wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot.
No, Margot. Oh, we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Where'd he go?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm looking for the rejoin.
Right.
And then his internet died.
We need something right about now that says stand by for technical difficulties.
Yeah. It's okay. It's give me a minute.
This is a first.
Man down. Man down.
Medic! Excuse me. I'm in need of medical attention here.
Sorry, I was actually in the process of updating my primary page to also share the news that we are live. So yeah, pardon that slight interruption. Well, I'll keep an eye out for him. There to pop back down. Uh-oh.
There he is.
I got booted, I think.
You
Click
think?
the link again. Yes.
Well, it's great you can come back and watch this. Be like,
I'm looking for him to rejoin, but I'll keep an eye out. We'll talk to him. Let's see.
Well, now that movie though in itself is just full
from beginning to
I didn't
end.
see the link.
I mean, it's so quotable. The link should stay the same. He should be able to try, and it keeps telling me I may not have internet.
You guys are in
Do
tech
you have
support.
internet?
Come on now. Is it plugged in?
Have you tried rebooting? There he is.
Woohoo! I don't know, Margot. Click. Quite literally, that's what happened.
Why is the internet down, Todd? I don't know, Margot.
I don't know, Margot. Is it plugged in?
Have you rebooted the router, Todd?
Did you turn it off and back on again?
I don't know, Margot.
You sitting back, it keeps telling me I may not have internet. And I'm like, and you guys are in tech support.
Hey, Hey,
I don't,
all
I
I
don't
can
do that
tell you
anymore.
is what it was
I don't do
telling
that
me.
anymore.
But so many things from start to finish in that movie that's both quotable and just some of the stuff that
I mean,
happens.
you can go anywhere and say a shitter is full,
And
and
people
somebody
know what you're
immediately
talking about.
knows what you're referencing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you could jokingly say, the little lights aren't twinkling, Clark. Somebody, that
They know.
clicks. Um,
Uh, a line that I
Mississippi
use from
Leg
this movie like
Hound.
a lot is bend over, I'll show you.
Yeah, bend
I've done
over, I'll
that
show
one
you.
too.
You talk to me like that. I wasn't talking to
I was
you.
talking to her.
It's got so many great, insults for everyday life.
The blessing.
Blessing. Grace, she died 30 years ago.
Oh
He's just yakking on a bone.
gosh, you know, I- you
He's
talk
a leg
about
hound.
you talk about top five. I don't know. I gotta say this probably is number one. I've got a lot of favorites. I've got a lot of really special Christmas movies to me. This really does probably have to be
Yeah.
number one.
I know that you got a soft spot for the Star Wars Christmas
Special. Holiday
special.
special. Gonna help
Chewbacca.
the
No,
Wookiees celebrate Life Day.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Star Wars Christmas special.
I've not even as diehard Star Wars as I am, or at least was. Uh, I don't even have the stomach to go back and sit through that. Like just looking at the memes is enough.
They had some jacked up looking Wookiees in that. I'm going to tell you right now.
Plumb terrifying looking Wookiees.
Like it was like Chewbacca took all the budget. They didn't have any more Wookiee budget.
It's a Wookiee from Wish.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's a wish Wookiee.
Wish Wookiee.
that's the Wish Wookie.
That sounds bad. Rub the Wish Wookiee three and get 3 wishes.
3 wishes. Oh, it's fantastic.
The Wish Wookiee.
The wish Wookiee.
Yeah, no, I'll go out. I'll go out. I'll say right now that one's probably number one. There's not much of a contest on that. There's not any hesitation. It's just I go back to it. I watch it multiple times every year. In fact, I think I've probably already watched it like 3 times this year.
Top 5 for me.
Um,
Not number 1.
Not number one.
No.
What's your number one?
My number 1 is A Christmas Story.
Okay,
You shoot your eye out, kid.
it's a good one. I mean, you're not wrong to have it in your top 5 at all. There he goes again.
There he went again. He's having issues.
Yeah.
Him's interwebs and him's is about to have a fight.
I think it is. Well, we'll wait for him to come back. I mean, not really. We'll keep talking, but I'll let him back in when he comes back.
Right? Stop.
Right now, I'm looking for Facebook Messenger
Tripping.
to ding with him, like,
On.
Yelling about his
Me.
internet.
Board.
I don't know. We could plug in his address and see if Comcast is reporting a outage at his house.
It's getting too cold. Internet can't keep going.
Spark a little fire under the wire. No, Christmas Story. That's a good one. I'm trying to think where I would put it. I don't know that it. I want to start a notepad as we go through this.
That's a good idea, actually.
So, yeah, I'm going to say off the bat, Christmas Vacation. I'm going to jot down a Christmas story. So for me, I'll be honest, because it's good. It's good. It is a classic. I love it. I think it was unfair that it really was a bomb back in the day.
I'll
You know?
agree.
And I don't oh God. Just here we go.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
We got the
there-
Wish Wookie.
There's the Wish Wookie.
It's the Wish
That's terrible.
The Wish Wookie.
I think they spent more on its teeth than they did everything else.
He's
I
got a
was going
great
to say that
smile.
thing has got a glorious pair of choppers. I'm just going to say right
I mean,
now.
that's like
That's
he's
the-
either naturally
that's
gifted
a-
or that's the ultimate and fix it and forget it.
Oh gosh. Let's see here.
This was just absolutely terrible.
This is just temporary.
Wish
Wish
Oh,
Wookie.
man.
Woo. That's not going away anytime soon. Oh.
It is too
Oh.
You
good.
want up even better than that.
to anyway, TBS ran it into the ground.
Christmas Story.
That's I think what burst the bubble for me with Christmas Story.
That's my favorite day. You know, on Christmas Day, TBS does a 24-hour marathon.
That's
Guess
where it
where my
got ran
channel
into the
stays.
ground for me.
Guess where my channel
see-
stays.
Okay, here's something funny about that. As like I said, I don't disagree. It's a great movie. It really is. It just, but it's funny. I've had multiple occasions over the years when they do their marathon. I swear I have had Christmases where at no point throughout the entirety of the day have I managed to complete the movie. Even bits and pieces. I've managed to make it through the whole day and still miss like certain areas of the film. It's not a long movie. I don't get it.
Which means they can get a lot of them in 24 hours.
And I still somehow have not been able to complete the movie on a few years. So, anyway, yeah, I'm generating a 5 here.
I just threw mine up in the chat.
Oh,
Well,
in the
private
chat. Okay. Okay.
The one that only we have for footnotes.
Well, we'll go ahead and get this out there. And I'm trying to make the room, but I am wholeheartedly in agreement with A Christmas Carol of George C. Scott. And Christmas Carol is a tough one for me because the George C. Scott one is the one I grew up with, and I know you did too. That was the one for a number of years. He was fantastic in it, and to me, I don't know. That's who I always see in any rendition of A Christmas Carol. Um, it's hard for me to try and place. Like, do you just have a category? Do you just have like a side bracket for Scrooge? Or A Christmas Carol? Because under that same umbrella, I'm also very, very fond of a Mickey's Christmas Carol.
I do like it, and here's the thing: is for my list, because there's a lot of things that did go through my head. Mickey's Christmas Carol, the Charlie Brown Christmas, the animated Grinch, um, what have you. I guess I just mentally disqualified those because they're less than an hour long. They're only like 25 to
They're
30
so
minutes
short.
long.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of just picture them as like short animated specials. If I had to put like number 6, I would throw Rudolph in there, the claymation one, stop motion animation one. Oh heavens!
What the hell, man?
I'm
I think
sorry,
you've
I'm
been
gonna be
drinking
stuck
too
on this
much
a while.
eggnog.
This is terrible.
It's awful. It's awful, you wish Wookie.
The Wookiee you order versus the Wookiee you get.
Versus the Wookie you
What
get.
can you get? It's absolutely terrible.
Okay, sorry. Yes, A Christmas Carol, George C. Scott. That one was one of my favorites.
That one,
But the Mickey one is
yeah.
also
So
another one
the
that I
Mickey
really
one
enjoy.
is great. It's
If you're
well, I
just
mean,
going for, if you're going for, I guess not funny, like not a funny movie, um, like Miracle on 34th Street, um, is really good. Um, and then obviously A Christmas Carol. Um, I got like a newer, kind of more nostalgic movie that's been that we watch now about every year is Polar Express. Um,
I never could
really
get
like
into.
that.
I never could get into Polar Express, and I know a lot of people really enjoy it, but I that one's never. I don't know. I've never been able to really get into that one.
But it has its funny moments. But it's to me, I don't know. It sums up like the anticipation of being a kid at Christmas. You know, the night, Christmas Eve. You know that next morning you're going to go downstairs and find something that's just awesome. But then there's a lot of other stuff. Just the I guess the I guess kind of the supernatural portion of it, and that you got to be you in order to really, I guess, get the magic of Christmas. You kind of have to believe. So it's
Mhm.
just kind of one of those things. That is a little deep, but to go from Wish Wookie to to this, but
To that.
That's
um,
the Wish Wookie is a hell of a detour. Thank you. We appreciate that.
but the
We have to have our side quests every now and then.
but if you go with like just the good, just gut laughing, funny, uh, just movies, Christmas Vacation, number one, hands down. Um, the Grinch, the Jim Carrey version, is good. He nailed that one. Of course, he's also a little crazy and grumpy in his own right, so I don't think he had to do a whole lot to step into that role.
I'm going to be honest. I can't. I can't stand the Carrie version. I'm just such
Really?
a diehard. I'm such a diehard for the old animated
But the
classic, and even the newer renditions. I don't get behind them. I hate them all.
well, I mean, somebody I saw it somewhere. They were doing a comparison between the two of the two animated and not the live action, which is obviously the Jim Carrey version, but the two animated versions. The new one with Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Bandersnatch,
Yeah.
uh, that
Garden
guy.
Hose.
Cabbage Patch. Yeah.
Yeah. He They were doing a comparison of who was actually the Grinch, like who is the real Grinch, and it's like the newest one they tamed down. Like, yeah, he was a grunt butt, but he wasn't like, you know, really that bad. And in the original Grinch, that dude was, I mean, like he had some screws loose. I mean, he was he was rough, you know. I mean, like he was rough. Um,
Mhm.
but when they said, well, then you know, if the original Grinch is the real Grinch, and the new Grinch is just more of a toned down, tamed, more PC version of the original Grinch, well, what about Jim Carrey's? And somebody said, "Oh no, dude, he falls in the footsteps of the original Grinch straight up." Said he literally threw a kid in a trash compactor in the
This is true.
movie.
What's the problem with that? I'm confused.
Yeah, so Cindy Lou Who got chucked in the
So
trash
throwing a
compactor,
kid.
you know.
I mean, he ended up helping, but
Yeah,
He
but
got
only because
better.
Max, you know, only
that
because the dog was like, no.
we don't throw children in trash compactors.
Good,
Why
don't
not?
do this. But
I want to go on records by saying we don't condone throwing children in trash compactors.
yes,
We all three
yes,
have
we do not
children,
condone
so
this. We do not condone this.
Unless it's on a Death Star.
True.
true. What a wonderful
Mm.
smell you've discovered.
But all-time favorites, they have to be the animated classics. And I say that's funny because it's like
Well,
animation has not really been around like forever, you know.
mm-hmm.
At least
Well,
not in the sense like this, but the Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or the Grinch,
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
And I guess I get
It's
really what Voice was saying then, where it's like they do kind of stand. I mean, I know they all are shorts basically, or very shorter.
Yeah. To me,
So
they're in
yeah,
their
maybe
own
they really do.
category.
They are in their own. That like they're timeless. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. So yeah, and that's caused me to kind of reconfigure my list a little bit. So, my number two is I'm with you. Number one, Christmas Vacation. My number two, I'm going to go with Die Hard
waiting for that one.
because
Right.
that one was coming.
But
My,
it has been said that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
but it is a
Well, those
Christmas
people
movie.
who have been saying those is wrong.
Well,
Now, I
No.
do love Die Hard,
pretty
and
sure.
yes, it is a Christmas movie. I will die on that hill. But it didn't make my top 10.
Bruce Willis said it wasn't a Christmas movie.
Well, right now Bruce Willis is losing his mind, so we not
Yeah, that's not really a credible source at this point in time. I mean, for crying out loud, Run DMC made a brand new Christmas song for the movie.
right.
Yes,
Come
Look,
on.
Bruce starred in it. He didn't write it. So
this is
there.
true.
It checks all the boxes. So, yeah, no,
It's a Christmas movie.
Die
It's
Hard's my number 2. It is a Christmas movie. The sequel's a Christmas movie. Come on, even Die Hard 2, I mean, takes place on Christmas. I mean, until 3
yeah.
when they broke from that, they were all around Christmas. So, yeah,
Um,
my number 3, Christmas Carol, George C. Scott. Which funny story on that one. I think it's on Netflix. We watched it the other day. I had never actually seen the first like 2 minutes of that movie because growing up we had the VCR, the VHS, recorded it off of TV, and in our recording we must have missed that first little bit. So when we fired it up on Netflix, it's going through that brief little intro and startup, and I'm like, "What the hell is this? What is all this? Where did this come from?" Because my copy growing up almost jumped like right to him walking in or starting, like it was just on him. It was just there. Like there was no lead
Yeah.
up.
Well, to you, then it was kind of like watching a special edition.
Yeah, it was the director's cut
was the director's cut, the extended.
New footage.
with this nice lead in. I want to go number
Now with
4, Home
backstory.
Alone. For me, I do really really enjoy Home Alone, which is also kind of it's Die Hard for kids. Um,
It's true.
and then I want to say number 5, Scrooged.
See, that's where I was wondering
I
where
forgot
Scrooge
about
would make the
Scrooge.
list because Scrooge would have to be if you go into the if you're just doing funny movies, and that's where I kind of get, it's like don't I don't know how to compare them because I don't know a good
I
way
mean,
to
we
compare the funny movies versus the non-funny, not the ones that are actually that are not comedies. They're more of
right.
a serious tone because I have different reasons. There's different reasons why I watch them or why
Yeah,
I like them.
I get
And
what you're saying. It's hard to lump them all in one because you could very easily subcategorize, you know,
yeah, and
your
so
comedies versus your meaningful, um, really getting the holiday spirit and the meaning of Christmas.
see, it's like
Yeah,
I'm looking at some of the list that we've got right here, and it says, it's like we've got Jingle All the Way. Well, I thought Jingle All the Way was hilarious,
that movie gets way too much hate, but I'm with you. I love Jingle All the Way.
and I thought it was great. I thought it was a funny
Hmm.
movie. Really enjoyed it,
It
and
really
it just
was. God
and
rest Phil Hartman's soul.
yeah, no doubt.
Because that was
Um,
like pretty close to one of his last movies, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
The
I
voice is
think you're
gonna he's
right.
gonna go check it. It
yeah.
was real
I'm checking.
close. Yeah.
Um, but like I don't know that it was going to. I don't know that Jingle All the Way would make my top five. That's the only thing. I like Elf. I think Elf
I
is a
love
hilarious movie,
Elf is an instant classic. Yeah. I love
You're looking
Elf.
at my top
and
10, is what you're looking at.
yeah, I mean those would be in my top 10. Those two would definitely make the top 10. Ernest Saves Christmas would probably be in the top five, as well as Santa Claus, the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Um,
Ah. It still wouldn't make my top 5. I really love it. It's a great movie. Well, it's kind of like, I'm building like my list of like honorable mentions. I'm trying to keep it to just 5 because it gets a little murky after 5,
You can say
but
my 6 through 10 are the honorable mentions.
yeah,
well, but in that same, as far as honorable mentions go, here's another one, and I often argue it's an overlooked classic, Santa Claus the movie with
That's
Dudley Moore,
true.
because and I don't know, it's another one of those. So many of these on these lists were box office flops. They get a lot of hate, still get a lot of hate. Some of them do, even the ones that have become or classics to us. Um, but the thing about Santa Claus the movie for me, and I think it was just a case of I was that perfect right age. The first beginning, the opening of that movie is it's just so magical because it really brings to life, that Santa Claus, and really taps into the imagination and the joy and the belief and just the magic of Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus the movie. It's not a top 5, but it's definitely an honorable mention for me.
So
No,
jumping
that was
back
that.
real quick, Phil Hartman. Jingle All the Way was the last movie released while he was alive that he did. He had 3 more that he was in that came out after his death, and that
Okay.
was Kiki's Delivery Service, Small Soldiers, Buster and Chauncey's Silent Night.
Small soldiers.
So those 3 didn't come out until after his death, but Jingle All the Way was the last one that came out while he was still living.
Okay.
You know he did voices in Scooby Doo
Mm-mm.
from 1979. Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo, additional voices. No major character, but
Let's see here.
Um, there
Go
is
ahead.
one that I was going to throw out there too. That's another. It is a Christmas movie, and it is one that's a more of a kind of like the you know Scrooge kind of, not Scrooge, but the Christmas Carol is It's a Wonderful Life, or Miracle on 34th Street. But yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is another good movie. That's another one of those that when you're watching, like, yeah, that one's pretty. It's a pretty good classic. Um, but then I just got reminded of another movie that is a Christmas movie, and it falls along the same lines as Die Hard, Gremlins.
Yep.
yep.
I
Gremlins.
didn't even think about that, and I was sitting there, I was like, wait a minute.
This is true.
Yeah, I
You
would
could call
classify
Gremlins 2 a
Gremlins.
New Year's movie.
Yeah. Of course, there's also Emmett Otter.
Oh yeah.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. You just really want to get crazy.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to think. All the shorts. I've wore out. I've got them all. Watch them usually multiple times throughout the course of the season. Um. Oh, I was going to say, the thing on Scrooged. Um. I'm getting some extra clicking or like tapping or something.
That's probably me.
I blame, I blame Lazy. I blame the Wish
Okay.
Wookie.
Good old Wish Wookie.
um. But Scrooged. Um. The thing I like about it is it's a really good. It stays close to the A Christmas Carol format, but I feel like it changes just enough and adds its own flavoring. Um, it does to me put it in kind of its own. Because it's so easy to get lost in the 40 million versions of A Christmas Carol. Um, it's to me it's Bill Murray. It's peak Bill Murray. Um, and I think what I like about it is it sticks to the format, but then at the same time, like not only is Scrooge, I know he's his different name in the movie. Is he redeemed at the end? But then like he also has this opportunity to actually like have the life he almost missed. Whereas like in the traditional A Christmas Carol, um, he loses his or he runs off his fiance, and then he's like old. Like for all the lessons learned, that's the one thing he never gets the course correct that one. That was always sad to me. Like he gets to help the Cratchits. You know, get that reconnection to his brother, but like he never. That's the one. He don't get the fix. And at least with Scrooge, like he gets that opportunity to resolve that. So he gets to go on and have that redemption there. Always like that little bit there for him in that one.
A little more of the redemption arc than normal.
Yeah. Mm.
Eh?
Trying to think. There were some others. There's
Clearly.
some others. Yeah. Yeah, there's some others that I really, I don't know. I mean, I mentioned Ernest Saves Christmas. That's one that I've always thought was just a good, just a fun, just kind of goofy movie,
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. It was real fun. And Santa Claus was kind of in that same, I guess, tone to me. Um,
The Santa Claus or Santa Claus the movie?
Tim Allen, Santa Claus,
Tim Allen. There we go. Okay.
or as a good buddy of mine said when we went to go watch it, I'll take one for the Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus.
The Santa
Just the
Claus.
Santa Claus. Anyway,
There are two
So
people that pop in my head on that one, and I'll share them with you later.
and you're probably right.
I'm looking through I'm looking through like my collection to see if there's anything that I've missed. Because I try and every year I always try and like add to my collection missing pieces of kind of like the Christmas collection. That way when I go into this time of the year, everything's lined up ready to stream and watch. So I'm looking now to see if there's anything I'm overlooking. Yeah, of course Microsoft's running their Christmas sale right now. Let's see here. Save up to 50%. See the details. Just show me the list of movies because that's usually how I go through and I see what I'm missing in my collection. That's not loading, but anyway, to kind of shift back, Jingle All the Way, to get more on that one. Obviously we were not the right age, but can kind of understand being the kid in that movie, wanting that one hard to get, because we did
Boy.
we did yeah, we did come in, in that era of like the crazy demand, because you remember Christmases back then, and I feel like it's not as
Hmm.
bad now, but you remember Christmases back then, the big ticket item, and somehow every year it always
You got to,
managed to be the same thing for every kid.
yeah. And the thing back when we were growing up that really comes into play and that has to be realized is we didn't have ordering online. We didn't have Amazon. We didn't have shipping it to us. The
Here
closest thing to
comes the
anything
grump.
like that we had was the Sears or JC Penney catalogs.
Oh
Oh,
gosh,
the wish book.
man, I
Yeah,
loved that day in late September, early October when mom or dad get the mail and there was that massive ass JC Penney catalog, and I would comb over that
thick,
book
thick.
and look at the pictures, and I actually follow an Instagram account. um I think it's Battle Armor Dad 1. I can't remember, but like most of all he posts is pictures from the old JC Penney catalog.
I actually
Brings
think I
back
found one of those because
the
we stuffed like the Sears wish books.
mhm.
We stuffed a bunch of them, or like had them, where we just kind of got put up somewhere. And I think my mom and dad still have some
Oh
of,
wow.
from like, yeah, like mid 80s,
Yeah, dude.
early to mid 80s.
If they've still got them, you can dig those out, and we need to get some pictures because and have
Right.
that walk down memory lane because oh gosh, I did. I spent countless hours just back and forth over the toys and video games, and just mind going nuts
Hmm.
over the
Did the same
possibilities.
thing. Um, so after school, I would get off the bus and I would actually go to my grandfather's brother's house, my great uncle, and I would stay at my great uncle's until mom or dad got home, and then I would leave from my great uncle's over to just go home, and it was all walking distance. We
Hmm.
all lived across the street from each other, so but my great uncle would have those catalogs, and I would too. I would just go into them and just flip through the pages, and I spent most of my time in the Tyco section, where you seen all the Tyco model trains, you seen all the racetracks and things to that effect, and of course also the Transformers and GI Joes. I would pour over those
Yeah.
too, but good old days.
I was
Oh
gonna say
Here
no.
comes the
Transformers
grumping.
was a
Yeah,
big thing.
Yeah.
that was the big ticket items, and it made it
Hmm.
harder to find because and more crowded than it is today because everybody was all out at once looking for these. You couldn't just stay at home and go clickety click click or go ordered. It
Hmm.
wasn't a thing. So
Get on a pre-order, pre-order
yeah.
list, so you just about guarantee you get one. And nope, you had to be out
Mm-mm.
on, it was like that was the thing that was like, that was the thing that made Black Friday crazy.
Your ass is in
Because
line hours before it opens.
Because yeah,
yeah, I
back
mean, like,
then, as I remember it, now maybe my parents were shopping early, and getting ready, and I really don't know. I need to pick mom's brain about it one day. But that was like, that was when everything officially started, and then that was it. I mean, I don't know. It just didn't seem like anything happened before Black Friday, and then
yeah, as soon as
so yeah,
Thanksgiving hit, the day after Thanksgiving, it was like,
now
all
we
right,
start.
it's
Um,
Christmas season. We gotta go, go, go.
The defecation hits the oscillation.
Yes, the bull has been stood in front of the rotary cooling device.
Yes.
yeah, and hit the ground running, and yeah, had to. Of course, I think too though. On some things you have to wonder how hard it really was because we also have the images of ye old Toys R Us's that used to be stocked to the brim with things. Um, yeah, and those images hurt.
Yeah, they do.
They do. And I here's the thing: is I can even vividly remember being in there, seeing the images firsthand. I mean, I have a very clear memory of seeing just an entire aisle, top to bottom, of it was just Transformers. That's all was in it. Transformers. You named a Transformer, it was there.
It was there. It wasn't like you got so many stupid store exclusives now, shipping them one per case, or you can't find. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'll use GI Joe Classified as an example. That might as well be a mail order only from Hasbro
Hmm.
because I can't think of the last time I walked into a Walmart or a Target and saw a recent wave of those. Everything I've got from them, I pre-ordered from Hasbro months in advance because I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't see it on the store shelves. And if a store does have a section for it, it's like literally 3 pegs. I
Yeah,
hate it. I can't stand it. Um,
I mean, what happened? Why? And it's just mind boggling. If you want
well, I
this
mean, some would
figure, you got
argue
to
that
go here. You want that, you got to go there. You want this one, got to go here. And
I I don't know. Some would argue it's because the toy bubble has burst. Kids aren't playing with toys now. XYZ, all these. Honestly, I think it's guys our age that are keeping the toy industry up.
you're
Yeah,
probably right.
At least with some of the classic franchises. Um, because yeah, everything I hear is
my
kids.
my youngest, the older boy. He don't, I mean, you get him a PC or something, a console or something to play on, and he's pretty well set. He
Mhm.
doesn't really care anything about playing with toys much. Um, the youngest, on the other hand, he's good. He's good to go either way. If you could get, if you get little cars or figures or stuff like that. I mean, it has kind of be in his niche, but
Yeah.
it's like when I was growing up, we had it was cast, like a die cast Ford tractor, and it was pretty decently sized. It wasn't a little like a Matchbox car. It was like a like 8 inches long by like 6 or 7 inches tall. You know, probably about 4.5, 5 inches wide. I mean, it was a big, for a die cast toy. It was big,
Mhm.
and so we had these Ford tractors, and I'd go out and play in the dirt and the mud and the yuck with these things, and just had big time with them. And now I'm seeing, my youngest, who's loves playing with tractors and has numerous tractors, but his are all, plastic. They're they don't handle the
Wear and
the
tear.
the wear and tear. Yeah, I mean, like of somebody playing, and that's the other thing too. It's like you can go get toys, but you're not going to get the life out of them. Like seems like
Mm-mm.
we were able
No.
to get out of ours.
No.
I mean, like you twist a poor old transformer the wrong way, and that thing's it's coming apart.
Yeah.
It's going to snap. Now, I was just actually sitting here thinking about that because I remember my original 82-ish, 84-ish Optimus Prime had the chest piece was metal. The legs, the blue part on his legs were metal. It had
Yeah,
actual rubber wheels. And the thing is the Prime, like when they did the re-release, it's all plastic. There's no metal to them anymore. Luckily, the
Well,
tires were still rubber, but
yeah.
no no metal.
Well, and the quality of the plastic is now it's getting worse. And
Well, they
supposedly, I'd heard something because of the supply chain stuff. They had to loosen up their, I guess, quality control just to, because if they were too picky, then they just run through your plastic, and then they're out of supply. So they've started loosening things up just to keep things shipping. And honestly, that's part of the reason I'm about done. I hate to say it. I mean, obviously, the stuff behind me, but I'm about done because I don't feel like I should have to, the Joes that are sitting behind me, um, the recent release of Slaughter, Crimson Guard, Zorana, Dusty. I had to give them a bath in hot water to loosen the joints, because if I didn't loosen those joints, they would break. I've seen way too many pictures from guys online on a lot of the later waves, the newer waves of G.I. Joe Classified. If you don't do that, the regular action you should be able to take with that toy, snap. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done.
well,
It's
that's the
not.
other thing is they've
You're not getting the bang
they've
for your buck anymore.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'll move on to other things. I've got more than enough things to demonstrate my love for these franchises we grew up on, and had our parents out at Christmas, looking around.
Well,
Um,
the injection molding that they use now too is like a lot of them they leave voids, on their purpose.
mhm.
Um, kind of like when you do a 3D print or something, you leave open areas where you may put in some stuff to kind of sure something up, but you're not casting a solid piece.
Mhm.
And so you have these empty voids that are inside the parts that then they become, that if they get stressed, they become brittle and break a lot easier. And and it's all just, it's the same thing of just wanting to save the almighty dollar. Use
Yeah.
less plastic so you can make more
Charge more
pieces,
for it.
so you can charge
Gosh.
more for it.
Well, don't get me started on the other angle with the less plastic. So
You know,
a lot of the GI Joe Classified going forward, and Slaughter was one of them, and a few others that I've been getting. Hasbro's gone to this windowless packaging. So you get a cardboard box with the art, and then you open it up, and if it were a retail buy, you better hope somebody ain't opened that up and done a figure swap or took parts. But you can't verify that now with not having that window. And if I was an inbox collector, I don't know that I really see the point, because without the window to actually see the figure, it's like, well, just sell me a box with the artwork. Because
yeah,
if I can't see the figure, so that's another issue. And it's, that's part. I open my stuff, but if I was an inbox collector, um, like I said, it really really defeats the purpose of having this nice display to see this figure. But yeah, it's another issue, and another reason why I at this point I only order from trusted places. I don't know that I could buy a GI Joe, or even a Transformer off the shelf with some of this windowless packaging, because you really don't know if somebody's messed with that. Now, figure swapping is going to be awful. But
yeah.
And the calling the question of plastic quality is keeping me from getting the Tonkanator, the Autobot Constructicons. I've heard
yeah,
horrible
It looks
things
like a
about the
looks like a
quality of the
Tonka truck.
plastic. Yeah,
well, and let's be honest, the original Devastator was not the most durable
no,
piece
it
in
wasn't.
Transformers anyway.
I
So
do
you're going to take an
remember
already
getting that.
fragile mold.
I remember getting that, and my parents were sitting there trying to figure it out and put it together. And next thing you know, there went hook right in half.
Yep.
Had to get a replacement
Yep.
hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember some of the few of those, man, and like the original Transformers. some of those things though, man, you could just about beat somebody to death with it.
They
They
were a
were, I mean, they
brick.
were just so well made.
Yeah.
Blaster, I think, could do that, and the original Prime could do that. Shockwave
Yeah.
could not do that. I had a Shockwave maybe 3 days, and its arm broke off. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Shockwave wasn't very sturdy. Megatron, the original Megatron, wasn't very sturdy there in the leg region.
Nope.
No, his legs were goofy.
He
Yeah,
was just a goofy
so
figure anyway. He was a great looking Walter P-38, but his
not
bot
a good looking
mode
robot.
was
He had a big
awful.
cod piece
He had a big cod
Yeah.
piece.
right there in the trigger housing, sticking
The
out
Mega
Oh
right
my
between his
the
legs.
gosh.
Megatron cod piece.
That is one of the few cases I will agree with. Because occasionally I'll see people be like, man, you think we'll ever see another Megatron gun mode, released? And everybody's like, no, no. And I'm like, yeah, this is one. You know what? He really is better as a tank. I'm fine with that one. It was cool back in the day, but I've got a Takara reissue Megatron. He stays in the box, but yeah. I think I transformed him once just to see, and then I carefully transformed him back to the P-38 and put him back in the box.
Yeah, if I had him and he was on display, it would be as the Walther. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't be his robot mode.
But gosh, so many Christmas memories though, and what our parents went through to probably find the things that they got us. Um, great Christmas memory morning, Christmas memories, waking up. Because I know we've had we got some pretty awesome stuff in our collections, that we've held on to and hold on to. Um, I know I have to find it, but I know, there's a great picture of me and Gray Skull and the Thundercats layer.
Yeah.
After Christmas morning, waking up to those. They were different Christmases. They weren't the same Christmas.
Yeah, I remember
um,
when my brother got Omega Supreme,
yeah.
and that was pretty good time. It was fun.
So
I'm
many.
dying inside right now so bad.
So now that we're all good and depressed,
Because I
back
had
to
them.
movies.
I had them in a place that I thought was a safe place to be able to keep them, and it turned out that it wasn't.
Not
A
so
little bit of a stab you
much.
in the back going on there, but whole different thing there.
Yeah.
Both Omega Supreme and the USS Flag.
God.
And
Oh man.
here's the thing: is I wonder where my parents hid that thing. Where did they hide that big behemoth USS Flag?
I never had anything as large as the Flag, but that does bring up the game of where did my parents hide this stuff?
Where did they
I never
put
found it.
it?
I never found it. I never figured it out. And over the years, I searched high and low at the house. The best guess I could come up with is my grandparents, our grandparents. Now I don't know if they did it for
Yeah.
you, but my best guess is at least with my, because obviously we share grandparents. But my best guess is grandparents.
Maybe in the garage that Granddaddy had that we never really went into.
Yeah. Well,
There at the house,
I
that one house by the tracks.
yeah. Well, and I actually have one other guess as far as my actual house, the attic. That was the only place I could never search because I knew it would be my ass if I lowered that ladder to get up to the attic in the main house. Um, That's the only other that was my only other theory, was that maybe that ladder was down and it was just tucked right above. But I never did. I never did find the magic hiding spot.
I will have to say I did find one Christmas gift one year, but it was at my grandmother's, not the one we shared. Um,
Okay, yeah.
because I had a lot of toys that I kept there, and they were often tucked away in a closet whenever I wasn't there. So I would just go to a closet, open it up, and start looking for whatever. And I remember I was specifically looking for a black M16 type machine gun that you could grab the thing and pull it back, and then pull the trigger, and it would go
Okay.
one of those. I was looking for it, and I opened the closet up and looked up Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh man.
So I do recall that. Yeah, I found that, and then I started asking about it, and boy, did I get in trouble. But they went ahead and took it down.
Oh. Oh man. That was
Yeah,
Dirty dog.
I
that was
wasn't
a great
looking for
Christmas.
presents though.
I was just looking for a toy.
I was looking for my gun.
Uh,
I wanted to go out and back and play Commando. That's all. Not Nintendo.
yeah. Now you just want to play Nintendo.
Now I just want to play Nintendo.
I
Fuck
do
Commando.
remember it was Christmas. It was the Christmas I was in first grade that I got my Nintendo. That was some magic. Cause yeah, I'd been playing yours for years, and that was when I finally got my own. That would have been Christmas of '89. I had yeah, got the set, and then I'm trying to think. So Super Nintendo came out just it feels like an eternity that I had the NES and played
It
it.
really wasn't.
It really wasn't, because you got to think when the SNES came out, 91,
Yep.
and
I wanna I wanna think Mario Brothers 3 came out in 90.
yeah, but it just seemed like an eternity that I had that NES cranking on it, playing it, and now in hindsight, I kind of understand. I guess really when you look at the time frame, Christmas of '89, and then on to the Super era. Um, I guess I kind of understand a little bit more now why Dad made the comment of, well, you have that one. Why can it do what the other one does? Yeah. The classic parent,
Yeah.
kind of defense about, why do you need another one? You have this one,
It doesn't do the same thing. It's
which is fine, because honestly, I still got that, years and years later, in high school. I got my first computer, 8th grade in middle school. And then within a few years later, and of course, you guys know, you know, how quickly computer technology, um, and especially back then,
mm-hmm.
aged out, and because we were making huge leaps back then. And I remember just a few years after getting my first computer, they're like, "Hey, I need another one." And I remember Dad like, "Why?" you know why? Dad never quite understood that, and it's like, because there's all these new technologies, and obviously that's my bread and butter, is computer and computer related. So
They made it
um
more better.
it really was, they made it better. I want to keep exploring that technology. I don't think Dad ever really did understand, but he played along anyway, and kept feeding that, nurturing that. So
Yeah.
actually, it was Christmas.
Good
It was
times there.
Christmas. It was Christmas my 8th grade year that I did get that first computer. So that's another great Christmas, you know, in the list of Christmas memories.
The first computer I ever had, I had to buy it. and that was in like
I remember.
'99.
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that when you did.
And it was a gateway.
Yep, that gateway served you well. You had that
Hmm.
thing a good long while.
It did serve me well. Many a tribes games was played on that gateway.
Oh, yeah, but what was it? What was always in your stocking? There we go. Something else. Christmas.
Mm.
What was your typical stocking?
For me, my typical stocking would be those candy cane shaped tubes of M&Ms,
Mm-hmm.
Reese's cups, things like that. I would have a lot of those. I would have fruit, apples, oranges, pears would be stuffed in there. Um, Nuts that you had to actually crack, walnuts, um,
Okay.
things of that effect would be in my stockings for the most
So
part.
our parents must have got together because yeah, that was exactly mine.
I'm going to guess that they probably did that because that's what they knew and that's what they got.
That's what I'm thinking then. Yeah, I was just curious because yeah, I don't know that it's ever really come up between us before. But yeah, no, it's I typically had the candy cane tube with some Reese's peanut butter cups, fruit.
Hmm.
Um, I do remember walnuts. I do remember that seemingly phasing out pretty early for me. I don't really have as many memories with the walnuts, but I do always remember the cream drops. You know what I'm talking about?
I never got. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't recall ever getting any cream drops though.
Yeah. There's a horribly inappropriate name for them that I will not state that I've heard called, but the cream drops. Actually, I'm trying to think of the actual name. Maybe it is cream drops.
It's cream drop.
It's cream drop. Yeah, the chocolate with
Yeah,
like the
yeah. It's just,
vanilla.
just yeah. It's just a cream drop.
Yeah,
You can get them. You can get them at Cracker Barrel.
yeah. But I always had a bag of those.
Old fashioned cream drops,
The old fat. Yeah. Oh,
and they
I
are
love
Was it
those.
either the
no, I'm
toes
thinking
or the nipples.
of pinwheels.
No, no, no. Which also
Uh,
reflects the time in which we grew up, but we're not gonna do it.
no,
No,
no, no.
Uh, cream drops, though.
let's say
Cream
we grew
drops.
up
Wish
more
Wookie,
since growing up.
Wish Wookie will keep it to himself.
Yeah.
But no,
Good
I love cream
wish
drops.
Wookie.
Oh my
Those
gosh,
cream
they're so
drops are
good.
amazing.
So we always
I
had
don't
candy,
recall
but
that.
we'd have little knickknacks and stuff. Back, I don't know if you guys remember it. There used to be a place called Star Sales that was over in Knoxville. It's north, kind of north Knoxville. Um,
Mm-mm, I don't remember it.
and and they had like pocket knives. I mean, it was like just just kind of play on words. It's kind of like a Wish, but a store, like a Wish store. It had all these
Was
no
it a Dollar
name
Tree?
aftermarket
Like a
kind
Wish
of
Wookie store,
like a
or
Wish Wookie store. Yes.
okay.
So they have all these like pocket knives and stuff that were all like you buy them in bulk or whatever, and they're like 50 cents. And they'd be selling them for a couple dollars. Um, they had little toys, knickknacks, things like that. They had weird stuff too sometimes. Like they had a small roll of toilet paper that you would. It was a discreet roll of toilet paper you take with you out in the woods, like if you were hunting, and it was camouflaged. And it was the whole purpose was for you to go poop in the woods and then camouflage your crap. From who I don't know, but
You know, growing up as a kid, I wasn't too familiar with the Knoxville because we stuck around the surrounding areas more than anything. La Follette, Clinton, Oak Ridge,
Mm-hmm.
Never went anywhere else.
But that was, I mean, that was the thing is that's what we would usually get in our stockings. But one of the main things that we just about got every year was the Lifesaver Christmas book. I
Never
don't know
heard
if you
of it.
remember those or not, but it was Lifesavers, and they came in like a thick pack that opened up like a book, and you would have like just a regular old like pack of Lifesavers in it, but then you would have like um, just cherry or just lime or just it was just one flavor in one roll, and then you'd have like an assorted roll, and so we'd get those in our our stocking just pretty well every year.
Hmm.
I probably still got one
I
of them
think
floating around in my old bedroom.
I think I remember seeing them, but I never got them that I can recall.
Actually, no, I do remember. I know what you're talking about. It have several roles,
Hmm.
and one. No, I do remember. No, I had a few. Now I do know what you're talking about now. If you've still got one, I don't know that I have any. You probably got to throw that away now. I don't.
Don't need
Yeah,
I
it.
don't know what the shelf
it
life
was a
of a
like
lifesaver
a
is, but
sweet storybook.
yeah, I remember it was like a little. It opened up and it had the rolls. I do remember
They
that
still
now.
have them.
Uh oh,
They're they're still out right now. You can buy them at Walmart, $2.78.
really? Huh?
Yep,
I'll look for that.
it was $6. They're rolling them down.
Oh Lord, Christmas ain't even here yet, and we're already doing rollbacks due to Christmas clearance.
Right?
Still got too much of it.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a yeah, it was a sweet storybook. Lifesavers Hard Candy Sweet Storybook.
Yep. Yep. I'm looking. I pulled it up myself now, and that actually is exactly pretty well what I remember. You're right. It opened up, and yeah, I didn't get that. It wasn't like a staple. Like we were talking about with like the fruit and the candy cane shaped
Yeah.
Reese's peanut butter cups and the cream drops. But I do remember on occasion getting that though.
Yeah, I used to. Golly, man, I'd eat the full of Lifesavers. Um, but we would get those, and then occasionally we would get like a chocolate Santa Claus or something like that. Little
I thought
kind of little.
I thought chocolate only came in the shape of bunnies
No, you can get a Santa Claus.
and
It don't.
pumpkins were filled with peanut butter during Halloween.
Yes. Oh my gosh, those are so good.
There's something special
The
about
Christmas trees are good too,
the
though.
Christmas trees are good too. I actually almost bought some tonight. Um,
I need
we
to.
did our annual drive around, look at Christmas lights, and I'm really glad. It seemed like for a few years there, it was something that was starting to be lost. Um, but
It
then
was
it's like,
hard to find them. We went and we did the same thing. We would drive around uh,
yeah,
and look, and we went out looking, and there was nothing.
there was nothing. You're right. But I feel like we've hit a bit of a resurgence because we had good success tonight driving around, and it's like, and yeah, I mean, a few subdivisions, it's just like, okay, this is clearly where the Scrooges live, but otherwise, it's definitely not like, and I'm glad you saw it too to kind of confirm. Yeah, there was a spell where it was just like it seemed like it just went away. And I've got a little setup out. I'm trying to rebuild. Um, I'm trying to move away from inflatables. They're great, but they just don't have the longevity in some cases. And so I'm trying to get to a position where I have stuff that will last year in and year out. And
You need you some big plastic Santa Clauses.
I have one. You're talking about the old blow molds?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I have two. One's a stack because Walmart started releasing that sort of stuff again. So earlier in the year, we jumped on it. I have a Santa and I have a stack of presents that are blow mold. They light up. And then we got something from Sam's. It's a giant arch. But so I'm trying to rebuild my whole setup. Um,
So
and
we've
move
got some
away.
inflatables, and unfortunately, our poor Snoopy, um, he kind of killed over on us. But
Somebody
I think it's the
somebody
power
tackle him.
pack.
I'm just glad I know what you guys are talking about when you're talking about inflatables and blow molds.
Yeah, good thing you didn't come into this conversation late.
Voice is like,
Right?
I'll take one of them inflatable blow molds.
I'll take one of them and just kind of go.
I'll be back.
I mean, that's about the only thing that'll
Is that
have me now.
is that
So
does that inflatable look like a sheep? I love sheep.
I'm not going to go that far.
Oh,
I do have a big fuzzy teddy bear,
I'm
big
sorry. Did
inflatable
you say
I'm
fuzzy
just
teddy bear.
fuzzy teddy bear?
I'm just suddenly envisioning like the video from years ago where it was Kiefer Sutherland, and they're like, "Hey Kiefer, you're a pirate." I can't remember what he says, but then like
It's a
he turns around and tackles a Christmas tree full force.
yeah.
I'm just envisioning that on like
He
one of these
says it makes
inflatables.
perfect sense or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should look it up. You should Google it. Hey Kiefer, you're a pirate. And he's drunk out of his mind, and yeah, he just full force tackles his Christmas tree. I say, yeah, it's something along the lines of what Lazy said. Oh,
I'm looking at it.
you're
Here
pulling
he
it
is.
up, aren't you? If it weren't, I'm horrible with streaming rules and stuff. Otherwise, I'd cut it in. Now, I've seen other streamers; they cut to other YouTube videos. Um, I don't know that
Just never know
we'll
what's
do
going to
that.
get you in trouble and what's
Yeah, I
not.
still want to play it. I still want to play it safe and close to the chest, and not end up with a strike inadvertently. Um, but but if you Google Kiefer, or not Google,
You just go into
YouTube,
YouTube.
Kiefer is a pirate.
Yep, that's what I was looking at, and that's what he
Uh,
says. He goes that explains everything,
That
and then he just
explains
runs and
everything. That's
tackles a
it. That's
tree.
exactly it.
He's like, Kiefer, you're a pirate. That explains everything. And then he just
And
turns and runs and tackles the tree.
tackles it.
Like full on tackles it.
Full. Yep. Oh, that's a great one. I do remember that. Just popped in there, and I'm envisioning tackling inflatables in a similar fashion.
Yeah, that I think the inflatable would hurt a lot less than a fake or a
Christmas
live
trees.
Christmas tree.
Any form of Christmas tree is prickly and
Hmm.
could gouge your eye out or something along those lines.
You'll put your eye out, kid.
Any other good Christmas memories? We've talked briefly on horrible games. some favorite movies, but like I said, it kind of it goes with the nature of this episode is tapping into those memories, and I think we've talked about some really
Right.
good ones.
I think if we go back to the movie part for just a second, some of the lesser brought up or shown movies, because every year they have the favorites that get shown like all the time. They take all the screen time up. Because you brought up Santa Claus the movie. When's the last time you seen the Santa Claus the movie played on
I had to
TV?
go buy
Just
it. I had
right.
to go buy it
Um,
and search it, and my wife has never heard. She had never heard of it before I introduced her to it. I mean, it is a
See,
lost.
Christmas
Again, it's
movie.
it's another one I don't get the hate. But go ahead. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, you're right. I get what you're saying.
Another one that I would put along those lines has Sam Elliott in it. Prancer.
Mm. My wife, I think she has often. I think she's talked about Prancer, but you're right. It's another one that gets lost in the shuffle.
hmm I remember actually going and seeing it in the theater. My mom wanted to see it, and at the time, I was begrudgingly drugged to it, but ended up liking it.
I remember seeing it in theaters actually.
So yeah, that's
Yep.
another one that doesn't really get a lot of time. Some of the newer ones though that you're not going to see on mainstream TV because they're always hidden behind some streaming service or what have you. The Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell, I think is real good, and I believe that was on Netflix. And Rise of the Guardians
Okay.
is pretty good. Now, it's
I liked Rise of the Guardians.
yeah, Rise of the
I thought that
Guardians
was
is
good.
good.
That was a fun movie.
So there's that. Um, did you share all of your top five?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Okay. I've got I got a top 10.
Oh.
Um, Christmas Story is my number one. Christmas Vacation is my number two. A Christmas Carol, George C. Scott, my number three. So older ones kind of round up my top three. Going on number four, we have Tim Allen Santa Claus. And then we have the Jim Carrey Grinch at number five. So I've got to put Rudolph at six, Ernest Saves Christmas at number seven, Elf at number eight, Miracle on 34th Street ninth, and then Jingle All the Way at 10. Ta-ta, Turtle Man.
It's not really a top 5, it's like a top 10, but
That's what I said. I think that hat's on too tight.
actually it is really tight. I'm not going to lie.
See,
It's
you're
obnoxiously.
losing blood flow.
uh man, Jingle All the Way. I really do like Jingle All the Way. I really do. I've never understood the hate for that movie. Um,
What was that? Turbo
but
Man? Was that the one?
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man.
Yep,
Yeah.
Turbo
I
Man.
mean,
They actually made a figure of Turbo Man and released him in stores because of that movie.
I really, because I feel like it was, they did like a re-release within the past year or so. I feel like it was last Christmas. There was a Turbo Man on the shelf. I remember looking at it and I was like, no, I better not. I better not. But I don't know. It was a good Christmas movie. I liked it. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot of Christmas movies that have a lot of hate or did bad out the gate, and I've never understood a Christmas Story is one that at the box office it flopped.
Yeah.
Santa Claus the movie, nobody talks about it, but I've always liked it because again, the magic of around Santa, and creating that, and just my as a kid, my imagination went wild. Jingle All the Way. I'm trying to think if there's any others
Christmas with the
that
Cranks.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking of that one too.
I have
Tim
actually
Allen
not seen
again,
that one.
and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah,
Yep.
that was a funny movie.
So give that one a watch.
Yeah. Well, it's got my boy Aykroyd in it. I, I don't know
Yep.
why, but
He's
I've never actually watched that one.
he's one of the neighbors.
Yeah. And I remember him in the trailers, and I'm a big Aykroyd guy. So, um, yeah, that is one. Um, let's see here. I'm just like pulling up a 100 best like Christmas movies. Is there anything I'm
Ooh.
missing?
Ooh.
Because it's one we haven't talked about, and it serves dual purpose. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Actually,
That's
yeah, I
true.
was thinking of
How
that one
the
earlier, and
hell have
I
we
got
not brought that one up
sidetracked.
yet?
I don't know how we didn't bring that one up. I mean, it's not on my top list because there's other more like, and I guess that's because it does serve a dual purpose, and it's not a knock against it, but it's like because of that dual purpose, it doesn't like shoot it to the top of a list. But it's another classic. I love it. I mean, and it's one you get to watch it between Halloween and Christmas. You can watch it for 3 months straight, and you're okay.
No. Oh, now check this out. Here you go. Um, I'm not looking to go to Rotten Tomatoes for the top 100 Christmas movies.
Well, that's what I'm scrolling through.
IMDb. IMDb. Here's the IMDb list. Number one. Well, actually, let's start with 10. We're going to go down. We're doing a countdown from IMDb. You ready for number 10? We brought it up. We mentioned it. Gremlins for number 10. Number 9 is
Legit.
Elf.
Yeah, yeah,
Number 8, Miracle on
oh
34th
yeah,
Street.
yeah. That's a good one.
Number 7, A Christmas Story. My number 1. Number 6, here's your number 1, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation at number 6.
Yes.
Number 5, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Number 4, Home Alone. um, Number 3 is A Christmas Carol, but I
Which one?
don't see that it's the George C. Scott one. This one has Alistair Sim, Jack Warner, Kathleen Harrison, Mervyn Johns. It was created in 1951. So it's an older A Christmas Carol. Number
Okay.
2, Die Hard.
That is my number 2. Very nice.
And number 1 is It's a Wonderful Life, the 1946 James Stewart version.
Okay.
Yep.
So, scrolling through the Rotten Tomatoes one, and I think theirs is based purely on the actual rating. One we haven't mentioned, and it is one of my wife's favorites, and actually, it is growing on me increasingly, thanks to her. A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot all about that one. That's actually a really good one too.
It really is. It's got some great like songs. It's really good. I've actually got the record. I bought it for her. I need to play that. Uh, but yeah, no. Uh, but otherwise, through Rotten Tomatoes list, I'm not seeing anything that specific that is worth calling out. Um, that we haven't missed. Some of these I've never even heard of. don't even don't even sound like
Oh
Christmas
gosh,
movies
dude,
to me.
there's so many movies that are. I mean, like even The Land Before Time, I think had a Christmas movie.
Probably.
So, I mean, there's bound to be
Um,
some movies that we're gonna miss. Not that I watched Land Before Time Christmas special or anything like that, but
I mean, if you
you
did,
know,
I
I mean,
didn't. I mean, no judgment. I mean, and I was a big Land Before Time mark, but
yeah,
oh gosh, on this Rotten Tomatoes one at 64% fresh, one of the Dolly ones, and I'm sorry, but I appreciate, I really do, and Dolly is absolutely a treasure to the state of Tennessee. But oh god, they're too much. These recent ones she's been trying to do. I'm sorry. No offense to Dolly. She is the hero of Tennessee, but by God, this stuff.
A little too
Oh,
over the top.
oh God, it hurts.
yeah. There was the coat. What did she have? Coat of many colors.
Well, that ain't one of the ones I'm talking about, but she has done there's the one on Rotten Tomatoes is like showing 2020 as one of her Christmas ones, but then she did another one that just aired, and I truly mean no offense to Dolly. She's a treasure to the state of Tennessee, but I I just I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. um, let's see here. I'm continuing to scroll. Uh, one, uh, uh, and I hesitate to mention it, but at the same time, it does truly kind of go down the road um, of our geekdom and what we do. But 8-bit Christmas,
I've seen that on this list as well, and I haven't seen it.
one of the
And
newer
Yeah, I was
ones.
gonna say I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a newer one. It come out last year. It was on HBO Max.
hmm
Um, I was good until the end. I was good until the end. I I won't say anymore. I was good with it until the end. It truly, with the geeks that we are, and our love of video games and Christmas, and I guess kind of the thrill of the hunt for that Christmas hot item. I mean, I didn't have an issue until the end, but check it out. But I can't watch it again. And like I said, I hesitated to even say it, but I'll leave it at that.
And now I'm kind of scared to watch it.
Uh, I guess so. Spoiler alert. So the whole movie, it's him and his he's questing. This kid is questing for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And there's so many nods, things that just tip their hat to guys like us that grew up around that time. And his dad, you know, he's kind of looking for it, doesn't act like he's looking for it, and is kind of like deterring him or like sending him down other routes, and sort of acts like he's looking for other things. And um, gosh, I'm trying to think now. Anyway, it gets to the end of the movie, and there's a moment when the dad's not there, and it's obvious he's passed.
Yeah, I can
and
understand.
and that was a little rough for me. Like I said, outside of that, and my own, what's been going on outside of that, it was a good movie. But yeah, that's one I don't know that I can revisit. But that one did come up, and I was enjoying it, until it hit a little close to home.
Okay, I may have to check it out.
It's on HBO Max, or at least it was. I'm actually I'm about to cancel HBO Max. Amongst several others, it's like there's just nothing there.
Yeah, that's what I've been running into, and we've been, I've kind of discussed it with wife more than a couple times over the course of the last year.
hmm
But we have streaming services, and it's like I don't really know that I want
uh,
to.
yeah, I'm probably going to cancel HBO Max. I can't remember the last time I've watched anything on it, and I'll just be honest with the way DC's going, and because HBO Max is a big like DC thing, WB. They show a lot of stuff. After James Gunn fucked shit up this week, I'm not going to give him a chance. I'm just point blank. You had one job to do. You had control of DC for all of 5 minutes.
And you
Everybody
screwed the
was
pooch.
everybody was literally like, Cavill's our guy. Give him a fair shake at an awesome Superman movie. And you're like, no, I'm going to do this instead. So you piss off. You're not even going to
I
get a
mean, so
chance with me,
much for that thing that they did in Black Adam.
right? I mean, yeah, piss on them. I'm done. I'm out. I will not. I won't. I'm not going to watch it. So, yeah, I really have no reason to keep HBO Max. Um, and in that same kind of area, it's like I'm probably going to drop Prime. My wife was looking at a few things to maybe try and order last minute, and to order anything on Amazon right now, they're already telling you it'll be after Christmas for delivery, and I'm like,
Yep.
piss off. I pay for Prime. Used to, when I ordered something, I'd get a ship notification typically within a day, and I'd have that item within 2 days. And to go ahead and on the 18th already be saying it can't be here until like the 28th, in some cases after the new year,
I was going to say we
uh,
were looking at something earlier that was January
that's
6th.
that's a breach of SLA. I don't care. You can spin it however you want, Bezos, or whatever, however the fuck you pronounce it. You can spin it however you want. When I pay for Prime and it says 2 day shipping, your ass better ship it. Don't sit on it for a week and then say, "Well, we shipped it and you got it in 2 days." No, 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 no. Used to, I hit order, it shipped, I had it within 2 days. That doesn't count you sitting on that order. And I can go to Best Buy, GameStop, Target, you name it. And if I order from them right now, I guarantee you I'd still have it from Christmas before Christmas, because they don't sit on an order for a week before handing it to UPS, and then be like, "Well, UPS had it and they got it to you in 2 days, so we're still meeting SLA." No, so I'm about ready to cancel Amazon. Fuck them.
They're getting a bit
And
big for
that's
their
the
britches,
bottom
I think.
line, because I say so. What was that again? I'm sorry.
They're probably getting a bit too big for their britches. The demand is higher than they can put out.
Then why the hell did they fire like 10,000 people just about a month or so ago? I mean, really? In the
COVID.
holiday season? Oh, fucking stupid.
Because all sorts of companies are making dumbass decisions.
Well, and Hollywood in general. Hollywood in general. And it's why, we've said it in numerous episodes, and honestly, it's kind of a nice cap for the whole season. This is why I go back to the old stuff. I can watch it. I can continue to enjoy it. It's exactly as I remembered it. And there ain't some talentless hack coming in with an agenda or some other bullshit trying to modernize it, and it's just god awful. And then they're like, "Well, it's not made for you." And it's like, "Yeah, but I kind of kept this property up and going for the past, 20 to 30 years by buying toys, comics, games, rebuying 4 different versions of DVDs. So, yeah, it kind of is made for me, so you should probably cater to me." So,
Well, the question I'd have is well, who the heck was it catered for?
Right.
right?
Because apparently
So,
you missed your demographic pretty hard because you slung it out there and then it literally bombed.
mhm. Oh yeah. Bombing
And the
hard.
people who would have been the fans of it either A went and watched it and were absolutely disgusted by it, or
Last Jedi.
saw basically kind of where it was going and just said, you know what, I'm done.
I'm
I'm
out.
not going to spend any money on that.
I'm quite happy rewatching old things and enjoying them and they're nice contained stories that aren't, they're not being carried on by, like I said, hack writers, people that have no interest um in the franchise. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, long story short, I'm canceling HBO Max, and I'm probably going to cancel Prime. Because honestly, we don't even. I mean, my wife orders a decent bit from them, but it's at a point where we're kind of looking at it like, I think we can consolidate or hit the free option and still come out cheaper than what Prime cost a year. Because I don't order as much from Prime anymore. So yeah, to heck with it. I'll keep some more money in my pocket. Maybe I'll go subscribe to Crunchyroll. Because they kind of ended up outside of my box of what I subscribe to, because there's other higher tier things than a service that only does anime. So maybe the budget will free up and I can go to Crunchyroll and I'll just stream Dragon Ball.
Well, Crunchyroll and Funimation
Yeah,
merged,
yeah, they did.
so
There you go.
It's a hell
so
of a
now
library.
you get go to Crunchyroll, you get Crunchyroll and Funimation stuff. And I've been using the crap out of it,
And now I
but
want
then again,
sushi.
I watch a lot of anime,
We had that
so
last night. It was very tasty. The
sushi.
Sora place that replaced Fuji. Um, Again, they are pricier, but it was dang good sushi.
I have to check it out.
Yeah.
Have to
So
eat it up, gobble it up
Oh
like a
no.
turkey.
we'll have to do that one day. Maybe we'll do that instead of Waffle House to have a meeting.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not really in the whole sushi thing.
Well, you don't have to get the raw kind. I don't do the raw kind.
Mm-mm. I won't. I'm sorry. I will not eat raw meat
Anything.
of any kind. I'll eat a raw vegetable,
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
but I am not. If it lived like with blood coursing through it, I'm not eating it at
I like
raw at all.
throw a little heat on it.
Not doing it.
So, well, I think we're probably at a pretty good wrap point. Yeah. So this will conclude season 1 of the 8-bit Atomic Geeks. If you followed along, if you've watched, if you've been here this far, especially into a 2-hour episode, um,
God bless you.
God bless
Right?
you. Again, we do
Putting up with
appreciate,
us.
yeah, putting up with our shenanigans and our detours. We like to see squirrels and chase them. We do appreciate it. We're going to keep it going. We may not have the world's largest following. We don't even have the world's, well, we might have the world's smallest following. I don't
Probably.
know. As I said when we started this, people want to watch and enjoy it, great. If not, we're still a bunch of friends that enjoy getting together and shooting the breeze. shooting the bull, just talking. And this is what we would do around a campfire or something, even if we weren't live. So,
Heck, maybe one of these days we'll all get in the same room and do this.
that would be nice. So we'll see what goes on leading into 2023. We will take a break for more than a few weeks, but we'll announce when we're coming back. I have a few ideas for what I'd like to do leading into season 2 to try and amp things up a little bit, change things up a little bit. Not too much. I mean, it's still just going to be a bunch of old grumpy geeks talking geek things, grumping, grumpy old geeks grumping.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where we're going. Again, we do appreciate it, and if you've been watching this far, stick with us and
Like, subscribe,
comment,
share,
all the usual stuff that YouTube likes to see happen to help us maybe pop up somewhere in the top 100 of some list of somebody's search somewhere.
Something.
I don't know. Again, at this point, we're just going live and we're just talking and shooting the shit
you
like we
tell me
always
do things I done running.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Yeah, but that's all I've got. That's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. Anybody else got anything?
I'm good to go.
Wow. Just want to tell everybody Merry Christmas.
Yep, that was gonna be one of my things too.
And a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. There's an RV.
There's an RV, Clark. Don't you go falling in love with it.
Go get the rubber sheets.
All right.
Thanks again, and Merry Christmas, everyone. We will see you next year when we start up season 2. Last call. Anything?
Nope.
Good.
Hit.
Merry Christmas.
Punch it, Chewy.